All right, all right. So your boy took some notes of week one. The Detroit Lions won 21-20. So in the first quarter, Germ had a huge 4th-and-2 conversion at the Detroit Lions 12. It was a fake punt on first to get the first down. Then Amon-Ra St. Brown scores a touchdown from the help of Gibbs on that same drive. Now, Marvin Jones Jr. fumbled at the Kansas City 17-yard line. It was a 3rd-and-10. Brian Cook recovered. Shout out to Grit. I told him in the live stream that I was going to put this in the video, but he said must have been arthritis for Marvin because that rheumatoid arthritis must have been kicking in for fumbling that football at such an old age. So I kind of got a chuckle out of that. But Gibbs also looked like a first-round pick. Like, the kid could not get down. Like, you could not bring down Jahmyr Gibbs. Kid was special. Man, exciting time for a Lion fan. Man. And then a minute 54 was the 2-minute warning in the second half. The defense was poor. Giant chunk plays. One against C.J. Gardner-Johnson and then another right after that against Jerry Jacobs. The Chiefs took a 14-7 lead with 34 seconds left. And then my whole thing with this entire game, and thank God they did it, stop throwing to Marvin Jones Jr. Thank you for doing that in the second half. Once they did, they started moving the ball better. But also, we need to pick up on our third downs. You know, these third down situations, you got to connect on them. Dan Campbell said it at halftime, and even in the second half, you're still seeing that. So definitely got to pick it up on that. And Brian Branch, baby, pick 6. He is the first Lions player in a debut since 1967 by Lem Barney. So shout out to you, Brian Branch. He did go down on a non-contact injury to end the third quarter. He did walk under his own power. It was cramps, but he did return with about 7 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. And then Levi Onwuzurike injured again in the fourth quarter. It was a calf and hamstring injury. And, you know, they were massaging his calf, massaging his hamstring, working on his ankle. So I don't know if it was, dehydration or what, but, I mean, come on, man. How many times are you going to get injured? Sometimes you just got to take care of your body. You know, but that's what I got to think about Levi. I mean, overall, the Lions got a lot to clean up. It is week one. They got the win. So, hey, it masks a lot of the deficiencies that I've seen. But definitely got to pick it up on third downs. Got to do, you know, those little things that takes those pressures off. And then, you know, the penalties. You know, we led the game in penalties. Now, granted, take it with a grain of salt because their right tackle, Jawan Taylor, was false starting every single play. And then finally in the fourth quarter, did they want to finally call it? Thank you, refs. You must have got my tweet because your boy went on Twitter and said, and I quote, Lions officials at Chiefs, right tackle, is not lining up properly all game. No flags all game on that. And they finally got my message. And they finally called it in the fourth quarter. Thank you, Lord Jesus, because that put us finally in good position. You know, it put them in a 4th and 25. And they still try to go for it. Mahomes, being Mahomes, heck, why not try to go for it? And it came back to bite them because, you know, the Detroit Lions were in good position. C.J. Gardner-Johnson could have had multiple interceptions today, but the ball just went through his hands. Hey, maybe you got to spit on it before each play and make sure it's tacky because, hey, when you get those balls in your hand, you got to come down with it because, you got to cause turnovers. Shout out Brian Branch, defensive player of the game. Aiden Hutchinson was a complete monster. Didn't pick up a sack, but he applied pressure and was literally about a half a second short. If they would have let him go a half a second longer, he was getting home. But, a funny play today was by James Houston. He had him. He had his leg. Then he tried to get both of his leg, and he still couldn't put down Patrick Mahomes. But it was a funny play. Play was incomplete. So that's why it became funny. But offensively, Jahmyr Gibbs, player of the game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, player of the game. Jared Goff, 2-0 against Patrick Mahomes, player of the game. And, that offensive line pretty well was good. There was one play I got completely mad, and that was like the entire offensive line needs to run laps because everybody jumped but the center. But here is Brad Holmes.
Brad Holmes, general manager of the Lions, who I look at this crowd here. Was this a home game for you?
These guys are amazing. I've always said One Pride is the best fan base in the world. I love these guys. They came out. I remember they came out versus Green Bay. They was even more intense tonight. This was a total team win. And me and Dan talked about it. He talked to the team about it. We're going to have to go through some ups and downs through the game. We weathered it, and it came together pure complimentary football. And I just love how we just stayed together.
How about it was defense at the end that really sealed this?
Absolutely, yeah.
All of a sudden, all those changes and everything kind of looked a lot better.
No, again, it was a total team win. Special teams, defense, offense, and they were at their greatest when their greatest was needed, and that's what counted.
Right. It's one win, 16 to go, but the roof's coming off that place next week when Seattle comes to town.
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about. It's one win. It's one win. It's the first game, and it's got to be expected. It was expected. And that's the standard that we have to raise. It's in the years past, it was, they play hard. Well, no, now it's expecting to win. And I think we did that for sure tonight. We showed the world.
Going to be hard for you to sleep tonight.
I'm not worried about that. I'll sleep later. But it was a great team win. So proud of the guys. So proud of the whole organization. And these fans were just incredible. Incredible.
Great. Go enjoy it. Thanks. Great seeing you, Brad. Appreciate everything.
All right. That is your general manager, Brad Holmes. Hey, I'll sleep later. I love that. I'll sleep later. But, man, what a game. Here is Josh Reynolds. He had 4 receptions, 80 yards.
It's just been a building block to this point, and so to be able to come out and deliver, it's awesome. But we're not done.
What do you think was the key to victory today? Neutralizing Patrick Mahomes, the way your offense was humming just like it did in Green Bay?
I'd say perseverance. Offense, we went on a little low. Defense had great stops. But ultimately, when the game was on the line, we was able to move the ball and score.
Big moment. You had a 33-yard pickup. It kept the drive going.
Huge
what was
play.
Going through your mind at that point? Because the Lions fans over there were freaking out.
Catch the ball and run.
Hold on to the ball.
Oh yeah. So it was awesome. To be able to make that play with the coaches putting their trust in me and let me go out there and execute. It was awesome.
A lot of questions about Jamison Williams not being here. I asked that question of your mom last night at the airport. What about the wide receivers room? She goes, my son's got it. She was right.
Oh yeah. That's Mama Bear for you, man.
Give her a shout out.
Oh, love you, Mama.
All right, that was Josh Reynolds. But, man, oh, man, that's going to do it for Week 1 recap. The Lions won 21-20, a 1-point victory. That's all it takes to win in the National Football League. But with that being said, y'all already know what to do, baby. Appreciate the number change. We are on the road to 1.08, and I'll see you in the next video because grit don't quit. One pride, baby. Hey. Peace. That was a great win, ain't that right? Grown Simba. Yes, sir.